It was 2:17 a.m. when my 6-year-old daughter stumbled into my bedroom, crying so hard she could barely breathe. "Mommy," she whispered between sobs, pressing both hands against her stomach. "The little stars are moving inside my tummy." I sat up instantly. "Lily, sweetheart, what do you mean?" "They're swimming, and they keep biting me." At first, I thought she'd had another nightmare. Children often described pain in strange ways. I brushed the hair away from her forehead. No fever, but something was terribly wrong. Her pajamas were soaked with sweat, her tiny body trembling as she curled into herself, unable to stand up straight. Fear hit me like a truck. Within 3 minutes, we were in my SUV, racing through the nearly empty streets of Los Angeles towards Cedars-Sinai Children's Hospital. The city lights blurred outside my windshield as I kept glancing at Lily in the rearview mirror. She wasn't crying anymore. That scared me even more. She just stared out the window, breathing in short, painful gasps while hugging her stomach. "Stay with me, baby," I whispered. "I'm trying." The emergency department was unusually quiet. A sleepy nurse immediately noticed Lily's condition and rushed us into an examination room. "I'm Dr. Carter," the pediatric emergency physician introduced himself. "Let's see what's going on." He gently examined Lily. "When did the pain begin?" "She only woke me up 20 minutes ago," I answered. "Any vomiting?" "No." "Fever?" "No." He frowned. "I'd like an emergency ultrasound." Minutes later, we were walking through the brightly lit imaging hallway. Everything smelled of disinfectant. The ultrasound technician barely spoke. He squeezed warm gel onto Lily's tiny stomach before slowly moving the probe across her abdomen. The room remained completely silent, except for the machine's soft humming. I watched the monitor, hoping to recognize something. Instead, I saw confusing gray shapes dancing across the screen. The technician suddenly stopped moving. His expression changed. His eyebrows pulled together. He zoomed in, then zoomed again. Without saying a single word, he printed several images. "You need to take these back to the ER physician immediately." His voice sounded strangely flat. I carried Lily back down the hallway. She rested her head on my shoulder. "Mommy." "Yes?" "Will they make the little stars go away?" "They will." I kissed her forehead. "I promise." Dr. Carter accepted the ultrasound report. His eyes scanned the first page, then the second. The color completely disappeared from his face. He looked at me for several long seconds, not like a doctor looking at a worried parent, like an investigator looking at someone hiding the truth. Without explaining anything, he stood up so quickly his chair slammed into the wall. "I'll be right back." He walked straight to the nurse's station. Curiosity and panic forced me to follow. I stopped just outside the doorway. He picked up the hospital phone. "This is Dr. Carter in pediatric emergency," he said quietly. "I need law enforcement immediately." My heart stopped. "We have a 6-year-old female with multiple metallic foreign objects throughout her gastrointestinal tract." He paused. "Based on what we're seeing, this may involve intentional child abuse." The world tilted beneath my feet. Child abuse? Metal objects? That couldn't be right. We didn't even keep dangerous toys in our house. Before I could gather my thoughts, 2 LAPD officers rushed through the emergency department doors. Their uniforms still carried the cool night air from outside. The taller officer approached me. He didn't ask whether Lily was in pain. He didn't ask how she felt. Instead, his very first question was, "Ma'am, are you the child's primary caregiver?" Every ounce of strength left my body. My knees buckled. As I collapsed onto the hospital floor, Lily reached toward me from the examination bed. "Mommy." But I could barely hear her anymore. The room spun as fear swallowed everything. The interrogation room inside Cedars-Sinai Children's Hospital felt colder than the operating suites. Every surface was gray. Metal table, metal chairs, blank walls. Only the steady buzzing of fluorescent lights broke the silence. I sat alone, still wearing the sweatshirt I had thrown on in the middle of the night. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Beyond the glass doors, doctors were preparing Lily for emergency surgery. I wasn't allowed to stay with her. That hurt more than anything. 2 LAPD detectives entered. The older one introduced himself. Detective Mason Reed. His partner nodded. Detective Elena Brooks. Reed opened a thin notebook. Please state your full name. Madison Parker. Age? 31. The child's name? Lily Parker. She's 6. Her father? Ryan Parker. He's supposed to be in San Diego for work. I've called him 6 times already. Detective Reed wrote everything down before placing an X-ray image on the table. Tiny bright dots covered Lily's abdomen. There are at least 3 dozen high-powered magnetic beads inside your daughter's digestive system. I stared at the image. It looked unreal. What? What are those? They're rare earth magnetic balls, Detective Brooks explained calmly. When swallowed, they pull toward each other through the intestinal walls. They can tear organs apart. My stomach twisted. We don't own anything like that. Are you certain? Yes. Think carefully. Has Lily visited another home recently? No. Birthday parties? No. School? She's on summer break. Brooks leaned forward. Who watches Lily during the day? I do. So you're a full-time stay-at-home mother? Yes. The room became painfully quiet. Detective Reed slowly closed his notebook. Then perhaps you can explain how a 6-year-old managed to swallow dozens of powerful magnets without anyone noticing. I can't. The words came out as barely a whisper. I honestly don't know. My eyes filled with tears. I would never hurt my daughter. No one answered. The silence was worse than accusations. A loud crash echoed from the hallway. The interrogation room door flew open. Madison. Ryan rushed inside, breathing hard. His expensive business suit was wrinkled from travel. Right behind him came his mother, Patricia Parker. She wore an elegant beige coat despite the middle of the night. The moment she saw me, she covered her mouth dramatically. Oh my God! Ryan looked at me with disbelief. What happened? I stood, relieved for half a second. Then his expression changed. His jaw tightened. What did you do? My heart froze. What? Lily doesn't just swallow 30 or 40 magnets by accident. His voice became louder. I told you months ago to throw away every small object in this house. I did. Then explain this. I can't. Patricia stepped forward, tears already running down her cheeks. My poor granddaughter. She wrapped both hands around Ryan's arm. I knew Madison had been overwhelmed lately. She sighed loudly. Being home all day can be exhausting. Each sentence sounded sympathetic, but every word quietly pointed the blame toward me. Detective Brooks watched all of us without speaking. Ryan pointed directly at me. She spends all day with Lily. Patricia nodded sadly. I'm not accusing anyone. She paused. But accidents like this don't happen without negligence. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Not once had either of them asked how Lily was doing. Not once. They only wanted someone to blame. And somehow, that someone was me. Detective Reed placed another medical report on the table. The surgeons believe these magnets have likely been inside Lily for over 24 hours. I stared at him. That's impossible. Is it? He looked directly into my eyes. Yesterday, who was with Lily? I was, most of the day. Most? I went upstairs twice to finish laundry. For how long? Maybe 15, 20 minutes. Was anyone else in the house? I hesitated. Ryan answered before I could. My mother stopped by yesterday afternoon. Patricia looked offended. Only for tea. She smiled politely at the detectives. I stayed less than an hour. Then she turned toward me. Madison was upstairs most of the visit. That wasn't true. I had been upstairs briefly. Yet before I could correct her, Ryan interrupted. So Lily was alone downstairs? No. I was only gone for a few minutes. But you weren't watching her. The words hit like a slap. Detective Brooks quietly wrote something in her notebook. For the first time that night, I felt completely alone.